Hello there, this is JackTHerbert and welcome to the Q&A series. Sorry that this is later than it was supposed to be. I mean, it's not like I didn't have questions. I mean, I've got 500 questions already, which surprised the hell out of me. I wasn't expecting to get anywhere near that much. Obviously I'm not going to be able to go through them all immediately, but you know, I can gradually chip away at them as I go through. And obviously I'm not going to answer everything. There are a few questions which, you know, are either not actually supposed to be answered, or they're just, you know, I don't want to answer them. So there's that. It's a bit later than I wanted because I recently fell into quite a bad sleeping schedule and I couldn't get decent lighting and I didn't have motivation. So luckily I'm feeling up to it now, mostly due to the fact that earlier today or yesterday we recorded a bunch of Payday 2, so now I'm kind of in the mood to actually do things. So that's good. I'm getting into the mood of doing things, so that's always good. In case you're unaware, if you want to ask a question, there's a link in the description which will take you to a Google Docs page which you can enter your questions and enter your name if you want to be credited for your question. If a lot of people ask the same question, I'm just going to group it under a lot of people ask this question because otherwise I can't really do anything else about it. And I'm not going to be answering necessarily every question that gets asked. I'll answer whatever like I pick out from what I see. If you've already asked a question, please don't post the same question again because that just makes it harder for me. It'd be a lot like if you've posted a question and it's not been answered, it'll either be answered in a future one or it won't get answered. If you ask again, it's, if anything, going to lower my chances of actually wanting to answer it. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, I guess I should probably start with the questions. So first up, from Random Night, so ask quite simply, are you a brony? And then goes on to ask if I've ever seen Animated James's work. See, it depends on what you would define as a brony. If you simply mean, do I like the TV program My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? If that is the simple defining factor of a brony, then yes, I am, I guess. However, if you were to take it further than that and be like, hey, you have to interact with the fandom a lot, you have to, you know, be very involved, you have to, like, you know, look at fan art, listen to fan music, all of this kind of thing, then no, because I really don't. The only in the fandom things which I even really involve myself with at the moment is I'll go to a few meetups, but then I'm going to the meetups to see the people who I already know because I know they're cool people. It's got nothing to do with the whole pony thing. So I still enjoy the show. Obviously I'm not watching it right now because, well, there haven't been any new episodes since the end of Series 4, but when Series 5 comes out, yeah, I'm going to be watching it. I'm definitely watching it. So if you consider, there you go, there's the answer for that one. As far as Animated James's work, I've never seen anything by that person, so there you go. Next up is from Brainstorm Alex with, who is the best mima on topbanter.net? Well, when I first read this question, I thought it actually said, who is the best member of topbanter.net? And I was just like, oh god, this is a really hard question. But then I read it again, it actually just says the best mima on topbanter.net. So it's easy, it's Spookback. So obviously, it's got to be Spookback. Who else can it be? Come on, you should know this already. Next up from Zab is it bad that I still watch your old Terraria Let's Plays? And speaking of which, bought any good games recently? I don't think it's bad that you're watching my old Terraria Let's Plays. I thought that I was actually really happy with how they were turning out, and I mean, I have since then also tried to revive a new Terraria series like 2 times since then. They've both failed, but that's okay, I tried, and it obviously wasn't meant to be if it doesn't work out. But no, I thought they were pretty good. Some good inside jokes involved with those, and yeah, I thought it was fun, and I like Terraria. It's a very good game. I'd recommend it to anyone. It's nice and cheap as well. As far as any good games recently, acquired this thing, which is 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, and Virtue's Last Reward. These two are in the same series. I picked this up. I knew about it for a while. A friend from university like vaguely told me about it, mentioned it while we was like having dinner one time. It stuck in my head, but I didn't actually seek it out for a long time because I mean, well, I've been finished with university for like 8 months now or so, and like he probably told me about it probably back in February, maybe even last year, not last year, maybe even the year before. I can't really remember, but I looked it up. It's US only, so I had to import it, which is why the case is like this, as opposed to a European DS box case, which is like this. Yeah, it's a game for the DS. It's a visual novel, and I really like it, and you'll see more about that on an upcoming video. Yeah, I'm gonna tease you with that. Next one comes from Francis Ragemain, which simply asks, what are your plans for the future? More reacts, music, etc. For the future, I mean, we've got the Payday 2 series, which hopefully goes quite well. So far we've recorded like our first session of a few heists. I think it went really well. I hope it keeps going up that way, and I hope everyone enjoys it. As far as other things, I am planning on doing some top 10 videos. Those will hopefully be coming quite soon. If not, we'll have to wait and see. They can be quite hard to work with. I've not actually started. I've got ideas and I've written them down and I've like sketched it out, but I haven't actually done anything solid yet, so I have to see with that. Music, there'll be more Huge Umbrella stuff. There'll always be more Huge Umbrella stuff. There's more 77p egg. Fucking 77p egg. Oh dear, oh dear. Reacts, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm also not gonna say yes. That will have to be. I mean, I'll almost certainly react to the Brownie Community Part 5 when that comes out, but other than that, I can't really say for certain. If there's something that catches my eye or something, then sure, why not? But, you know, I very rarely actually feel like doing that, so we'll have to see. Next up from Project Carthage YT. Assuming you've seen both Equestria Girls movies, which one do you think is better? I have seen both of them, and honestly, I actually enjoy both of them. However, I will say Rainbow Rocks was significantly better than the original. I really enjoyed it. I thought the first Equestria Girls film was okay. I enjoyed it enough, but I actually much more enjoyed Rainbow Rocks. Yeah, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. Which brings me on to the next question, which lots of people ask, which was what is your opinion on Rainbow Rocks? And like I said there, I enjoyed it a lot. It was good. The music was good, and it's just some fun, really. I mean, what else can you really say about it? Next up from Pipsqueak, aka Daniel Rustage, aka Rustage. Will you buy my album? Next up from Cade, who asks, would you kindly tell us how you became a brony, or why your OC's QT mark is the Nintendo 64 logo? I will do both of these. So, a while ago, a very long time ago, I say very long time, it was, the first time I vaguely heard of it would have been back in February 2011, I think. I was listening to the Yog Pod because I was really into that at the time, and it was like one of my favourite things to listen to, and Simon on there was just vaguely mentioned about watching some My Little Pony cartoon with Hannah or something. I think it was all a joke. I didn't really pay attention to it. I just remember that was the first time I ever heard of the new pony thing. I mean, I guess I did slightly see a bit of it before, not actually see it itself, but I also used to frequent a website called The Escapist, and at one point a lot of avatars on there in the forums started becoming pony avatars. I didn't really question it or anything. I just thought, I was like, huh, there's a trend with all of these pictures. I don't really know what all that is. I didn't take any notice. Then later on in May, someone, not myself, but someone else actually posted asking what the hell is with all the pony pictures. So I read the thread, and as everyone was replying, oh, it's My Little Pony Pictures was magic. It's actually really good. You should give it a watch. And so at the time I was like this was, I can remember the day exactly and the time because of internet history and stuff, but yeah, I believe it was May the 11th. Actually, it was definitely, it was the day that the that the finale of series 1 aired was when I watched the first episode, and I watched it at like 2 o'clock in the morning, the night before an exam. That was fun. And actually I did really good in the exam, so that was good. But yeah, from then I watched, I think I watched like 3 episodes to start with. I got hooked like immediately within the first episode, and then gradually, slowly like watched more and more of the first series through the time. Obviously I couldn't just watch it spam because I had, you know, exams at the time, so I was focused on that as well. But I think I had a good balance and managed to between two. And then a few months later, obviously I found more fan stuff about it, and just looked more into it, and I guess it just goes from there. So that's the brownie story, I guess. Sure, why not? So effectively, I would consider it that I've been a brownie since May 2011. So quite a long time. Quite a long time. As far as why my OC's cutie mark is the Nintendo 64 logo, that was simply I was in like a Skype group with some friends, and I didn't like make my OC myself. One of the people in there was just like wanted to practice just drawing, and so he was like drawing us all as pony characters. He asked me to choose like, oh, what kind of colour do you want? I said green. He drew it as the green that you can see my OC as like since then. And what do you want the cutie mark to be? And since one of my friends had the lambda symbol from Half-Life, I figured, well, I could just translate that to the Nintendo 64 symbol. It was just like, hey, it's something I like. It's been from my childhood. It's something I've always kind of been associated with personally, which is the reason I chose that. That's about it, really. Nothing interesting. It's not like I didn't design my OC at all. It's not like a character. It's just, it's me. That's it. It's me, the pony. Fucking hell. Next question comes in from Binio saying, are you going to do more live streams in the future? I hope to. I just need to find motivation. Like sometimes I might just feel like I might in the future just be like, hey, I'm gonna play a game, you know what, let's stream it, why not, and just do that. I'm not, after the last time I tried to do a big planned stream with like a lot of things, it didn't really go as successful as I wanted it to, so I'm probably going to just keep it as a side project of just like, hey, I'll just do it occasionally and not really fuss about it. That's probably the best way to do it, I think. An anonymous asker asks, have you ever seen Breaking Bad? Yes, I have watched the entire series of Breaking Bad twice. I really, really like Breaking Bad. I first watched it after my friend Matt Macaru, you probably know him, told me about it, probably, I think it was towards the latter half of 2013, I think it was around about November 2013. I watched the entire series over the course of a few months, and then later on, I introduced my girlfriend to Breaking Bad, and we watched it again together, so that was a nice thing to do. And yeah, I really like Breaking Bad. It's really good. It's one of the best series I can actually think of off the top of my head. Okay, this next one I'm not particularly keen on doing, but so many people have asked about it, so I kind of need to say something about it, which is the whole thing about where's Raph gone? Where have all these my uni mates gone and all that? Yeah, we've not exactly been on speaking terms since about, I'd say, probably around April. I wasn't actually aware of this until much later. Like when he disappeared and everything, I had no idea what had happened, but later I found out the reason that happened was to separate separate me away from them, which is fine. We've talked it out a little bit and we've come to an understanding. I was a bit of an arsehole and I didn't realise it, and so I paid the price and I'm not friends with any of them anymore. So no, you won't be seeing anything more from Raph or Tom or any of that, I'm afraid. Sorry, can't do anything about that. It's my fault really, isn't it?
I just want to clarify, I have no interest in elaborating any further on the situation. Just know that we're fine. Everyone is fine. We just don't interact with each other anymore.
Next question comes in from 88Q Lime. simply asks, are you having a piss? This next question comes in from Wootmees and it asks, what is your personal favourite video game? Banjo Kazooie for the N64, or the Xbox 360 remake is also available. It's always been, well, I say always, not right from the start, but probably from since after about 3 years after playing it for the first time. From then onwards, I very much consider Banjo Kazooie to be my favourite game. I really love Nintendo collectathons. They've always kind of been my thing. Like I really enjoy stuff like Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, obviously Banjo Kazooie. Like that kind of thing has always just been my thing. Also games like Jak and Daxter. You know, that's always been my favourite 3D platformer collectathons.
If you like, you can also check out my full Let's Play of Banjo Kazooie. I reckon it's probably the best Let's Play I've ever done. It's pretty good.
Next question comes in from Bear asking, when did you start playing video games? The very first time I played a video game would have been when I was 4 years old. I think we were given an NES with a few games. I wasn't massively into it at that point. I played a few things and I enjoyed them, but I didn't really get into proper gaming or anything. That happened on my 5th birthday when I got a Nintendo 64 and Super Mario 64. And again, it didn't even start straight away. Like, when I first played it, I couldn't get the first star. My dad had to do it. And then I couldn't get the second star. My mum had to do it. And then I went on to get all the rest of the 120 stars in the game. I mean, yeah, it did take me probably about a year or so, but I was 5, what do you expect? And I'd never played a video game before, so I think that was pretty good. Yeah, so that was my, effectively, Super Mario 64 in, so well, I was 5, so that would have been 1997. February 1997 would have been when I first started playing video games. Funnily enough, my second ever video game was GoldenEye, which is rated 15. Yay! The next question's from Anonymous, asking, any new music from you that's not Huge Umbrella? I'd like to say yes, but every time I try and work on a music project myself, I do it, I get one little part that's really cool, try to add to it, and then it just all falls apart and it just doesn't sound any good, and I just close it and don't ever open it again. When I'm with Huge Umbrella, I feel that one, it doesn't matter as much because we can make it silly and it's fine. Same thing with 77p Egg, you can just make it really fucking dumb and it's great, it doesn't matter. But then, yeah, there was like one song I was working on for a very long time, but it was collaboration with a person who's not around anymore, so I don't feel right releasing that when, you know, yeah. This question comes in from Not Paleo. Will you eventually stop making pony videos? Most brony YouTubers are, and I would be surprised if you would too. Personally, would love to see you make some sort of animation-based series, but that's just me. Oh, and what are you and the other guys from Huge Umbrella planning for the next album? Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so as far as stop making pony videos, I don't necessarily would say that I'm stopping making pony videos, but I'm not necessarily carrying on either. I've just considered it, I'll make whatever video I happen to be, you know, going with at the time. It doesn't have to be related to ponies, it can be. There's no reason for it to not be, but it doesn't have to be. Therefore, I wouldn't necessarily say the videos I make are pony videos, if that makes any sense. Some sort of animation-based series, I mean, maybe, I guess I could, but I mean, to be honest, I'm not really that much involved within an animation side of things, in that I don't, like, I enjoy animation, I like animated films and stuff, and animated series, but I don't, like, partake enough to really make something centered around it. Otherwise, I probably would. I mean, I could give it a go, I guess, but, you know, sometimes it's hard to even do that. As far as the huge umbrella for the next album, I can tell you what the next 77p Egg album, by the way, in case you don't know, 77p Egg is effectively Huge Umbrella, but really, really fucking stupid. If you thought Huge Umbrella was stupid, you just go to 77pegg.bandcamp.com and prepare your ears to die, because that's gonna fuck you up, yeah. The next 77p Egg album is gonna be a remix album of one song from the last 77p Egg album being remixed. I myself, on my own, have contributed already at this point 14 different remixes for it. Yeah, it's fucking stupid, but it's hilarious. As far as the actual Huge Umbrella goes, I know that... I do know some of the plans that we have, but I don't know whether we want to actually be public about them, so there's more coming, don't worry about that, but we'll have to you just have to wait and see for what it is, because it's gonna be good, it's gonna be good. Chase asks, I've read somewhere that you're planning to make a series of top 10 videos. Do you actually plan to do that? As I mentioned earlier, actually, yes, that is something I am planning on doing. The first of which, hopefully, should be coming out very soon. I've not actually started working on it in terms of, like, recording and stuff, but I've got that listed out. It's a very generic kind of one to start with, as kind of a way to ease myself in. And it's kind of very time focused, so it's probably obvious what it's going to be, isn't it? But, yeah, I want to get that out soon, and I want to carry on doing that, because that seems like the kind of content I would love to make. I just hope I'm actually any good at it, and people actually care. That's always the fear, isn't it? Mr. The Loop asks, will we see you at any conventions in 2015? First off, I just want to say, Mr. The Loop, once again, you're fucking amazing. And... conventions, I mean, it's not a convention, but like event of any sort of, not similar scale, but like relative, it's an event where there are things happening which are similar to conventions, but it's not a convention, is S5LDN, which you can check out at s5ldn.com, and we don't have a date for it yet. I have to admit, transparency here, I am actually part of the team for that, so I am kind of promoting here, but you know, there's going to be a music event there. I am one of the people performing there. We have others who haven't fully confirmed, so I don't want to like say names in case they actually change their mind or something. We don't know when it's going to be. It's going to be when the season 5 premiere is. It's in London. Yeah, check it out. That should be good. As far as other conventions, there are a few that have popped up, but I'm not entirely convinced yet. So we'll have to wait and see, I'm afraid. If I do decide to go to something, I will let you know on the YouTube and the Twitter and the Tumblr and the everything, so you can be kept in the know. And I hope to see you somewhere, Mr. Deloop, because you're a great guy to hang out with. I want to hang out with you again. That was good good at Buck last year, even if it was quite brief. Silver R Blade asks, do you prefer to do things with friends or without? Definitely with friends. So almost all things are much better with friends. That's what I've found, at least. I know some people might think differently, but for me, most of the time, everything I want to do is focused around friends. Apple Jackal asks, what console did you play as a kid, and what was your favourite game that you played on that console? I kind of answered this already. It was the Nintendo 64, and my favourite game on the Nintendo 64 was Banjo Kazooie. So, there you go. Mike DD asks, who is your favourite DJ/producer? Andy C. Oh man, I really like Andy C. He's such a legend in that he's been in the drum and bass scene. He's the pioneer of the drum and bass scene, like since 92, since since I was born. He's been in one of the like frontmen of drum and bass, and if you know me, you know I love drum and bass. I mean look at all these fucking drum and bass albums. Yeah. Yeah, Andy C, he's managed to go along with the times really well. Like you listen to his stuff from like '93, his like old jungle stuff like Valley of the Shadows, which is an absolute classic.
31 seconds.
And it's an absolute classic, and it worked at the time. And then you listen to his new stuff like Workout and Haunting, and you're just like, you've just managed to go with the time so well. And his DJing is absolutely amazing. I saw him live at Andy C All Night back in was it December? It might have been November, or maybe even October. I can't. Well, it was earlier, like near the end of last year, which was a good time. Yeah, it was October because it happened to be on Halloween, so yeah. Which was really good. It was like a 6-hour set, and I was so impressed. He is absolutely incredible, and he wins the Drum and Bass Arena Award for DJ of the Year every year for the past however many years, and with good reason as far as I'm concerned. Jacob Galliano asks, are there going to be any more vlogs in the future? I've always enjoyed them more than your reacts. It's funny watching you get up to shenanigans with your friends. I really want to do more and have been meaning to do more. Like, you might have noticed I've not really done any like this year, like, or last year I suppose, like much at all. The trouble is like I wanted to, and I had my camera with me. I just didn't have the motivation. That's why there were no Buck videos. There was no, I mean, a lot of the Buck thing was, obviously I was quite busy with the whole, selling albums, preparing for my set and all that. But even still, I just didn't have the motivation to do it. I didn't feel like it because I thought it would get in the way of me enjoying myself. Whereas last time that felt like part of it, but for some reason I didn't feel like it last time. So but hopefully in the future I definitely would like to, but I will have to actually feel up to it, otherwise it will take out from my own experience and make the vlog itself shit, so I don't want to do that. And I think this will be the final question for this session because, oh Christ, I've probably gone way over what I expected. Comes from Dashi saying, how did you find out about Osu? And in case you're unaware, Osu is a rhythm game in which you move the mouse and do the thing. It's, as far as I'm aware, it's based on a Japanese DS game, I think, which was the equivalent in the West of Elite Beat Agents, which I hadn't actually played before I played Osu. I found Osu because a friend of mine had said to me, like, hey, check out this game, I think you might like it, and it had a bunch of songs I liked, so I played it. And I started getting, I wouldn't say I'm not that good, I'm okay, I can do hard, I can't do like insane or anything. I've got a friend who is absolutely insane. He's like, I think if I remember rightly, he's like ranked as like the #1 player in Slovenia or something. It's kind of crazy. But he's really good. I'm just, you know, okay. But I enjoy it. I haven't played it in a long time. And if you like go back way into the depths of my channel, like back in 2010 and stuff, you can see that there's some really old videos of Osu there, which is not where I got started, because I got started long before this channel even existed, but blah blah blah, that's probably for another video, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's me going on more than long enough. I think this is probably longer than most of them will be. I kind of overestimated how long I'd spend on each question. So I guess I can ramble a bit. I guess that's what people are watching for though. So if I haven't reached your question and you've already asked it, don't worry, it might come later. If not, like, to be completely honest, these questions that I've answered so far were all posted in the first 2 days of me uploading the video. So I'm not even like slightly through. Like, all of these questions were before the 27th of December, so I'm way behind. But I think that's good because it actually gives me more. I can gradually get these out on hopefully on a weekly basis. I'll probably try and get this to an actual schedule as opposed to randomly posting it whenever, but this one's will be posted whenever because you've been waiting long enough, clearly. If you haven't asked a question and would like to, you can go into the description. There should be a link to a Google Docs and you can input your question there. It will give it into a nice spreadsheet format so I can easily find it. That's why I chose that way of doing it. I've rambled on for way long enough, so I thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.